Okay, this problem here says x squared minus 34x plus c equals 0. In the given equation, c is a constant, so c represents some unknown real number. The equation has no real solution if c is greater than n. What is the least possible value of n? So, no real solution. So right here, this is quadratic, which means like it has the highest power of 2, which means it's a parabola. And parabolas either go like sad faces or they go like happy faces. In this case, it would be a happy face parabola because that's positive. That a value right there is positive. So that leading coefficient is positive. So it goes like this. With parabolas, if you had two solutions, it would intersect the x-axis in two places. And those are the two solutions right there. If it has one solution, then it would intersect at one point right there. It hit right there. That's one solution. And no solution means that it's not crossing the x-axis at all. So, what you could do is you could recognize a couple things. You could say that if you understand how the discriminant works of a parabola, you know that, or of a quadratic equation, you know that the original form is like this, like y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And if you did the whole quadratic formula, you get x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, and this little piece in here is called the discriminant, that b squared minus 4ac. And look what happens if just the root part is, let's say, negative. So if you have x equals negative b plus or minus the square root, and I'll just make up a number, like let's say negative 49. Okay, so if the number that's in here is negative, well, you can't take the square root of a negative number. So that would mean this right here has no solution. And remember, no solution is when the graph does not touch the x-axis like that. Now, if the graph was something like this, like x equals, or the quadratic formula was x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of 49 all over 2a. Okay, well now this is positive. You can actually do this and you're going to get two answers, plus or minus whatever this is, plus 7, and whatever this is, minus 7. And so you're going to get two solutions, which means your graph is going to cross the x-axis in two places. Or you can get something like this, where you get x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of 0 over 2a. Well, negative b plus 0, or the square root of 0 is 0, right? So negative b plus 0 is the same exact thing as negative b minus 0. So this will just give you one answer if you work this out. And if you have one answer, that means you're going to have one solution. Okay, so what does this all mean together? That means that if you have, let me erase this right here. That means if you have this situation, this discriminant right here, b squared minus 4ac, is negative. Negative means the same thing as less than 0. Okay, so that's when you have no solution. So this right here means no solution. And if you have this situation right here, where this piece right here, this b squared minus 4ac is positive, right? Like positive 49. Well, that's greater than 0. And that would mean you have two solutions. It crosses the graph in two places. So two solutions. And this last one right here, that's when you have b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. And that's when you have one solution. Okay, so for this problem here, it says the equation has no real solution. So what we're looking for is when b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. That's the one that we're looking for. All right, so now that we know that, let's just erase this right here. So we want it looking like this one basically, right? Okay. All right, so here, let me write this down. We have x squared minus 34x plus c equals 0. And that's going to match up with ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay. And, well, a is invisible 1, so a is equal to 1. B is equal to negative 34. And C is equal to C. Okay, so we want B squared minus 4AC to be less than 0. Okay, so here goes. So negative 34, I'm going to do this in a different color. Negative 34 squared, and make sure you put this in parentheses when you square it, because if you type this into your calculator like this, your calculator is going to follow orders of operations, and it's going to do 34 to the power of 2 times invisible negative 1, then that'll be negative. So if you want this whole thing to be positive, make sure you do this in your calculator like that. All right, so we got negative 34 squared. What am I doing? Okay, so b squared minus 4 times 1, that's our a value, times c, which is c, and we want that less than 0. Okay. Well, let's see what happens if we solve for c. So if I go negative 34 squared all right, so negative 34 squared minus 4, oops, minus 4, I'll just put the 1 in there. Oh, I'm doing this kind of dumb. Okay, let's do, again, negative 34 to the power of 2. All right, that is 1,156. Okay, 1,156 minus 4c. Less than 0. All right, now let's just get c by itself. All right, so we have, we'll go minus 1156 minus 1156. Great. So negative 4c is less than negative 1156. Okay, divide by negative 4c, or negative 4. Divide by negative 4. Negative divided by negative is positive. So I'll just go 1156 divided by 4. 289. Okay, so here we'll see that c is if you're dividing by negative, you got to flip that inequality, right? So c is greater than, what was that number? 289. Okay, hold on. So if it's saying that C is right here, C is greater than N. So C is bigger than some number. And it says, what is the least possible value of N? What's the smallest number that N can be? Well, if C is greater than 289, then N would be equal to 289. Because C, so that is the smallest number it could be. All right, a better way to explain this, let's look at this again. So if it says that C is greater than 289, but we also know that C is greater than N, that means that N is equal to 289. So C can't be 289. C has to be greater than 289, but N can be 289 because N is the same number as this number right here. But N can't be smaller than 289. So N couldn't be like 288. That wouldn't work because C is greater than 289. So the smallest number N could be is 289. Or it could be, the next number it could be 290 or 291 or 292 all the way and forever. But the smallest number it could possibly be is 289. So the answer is 289.